Hello everyone, I'm Tammy, I'm 14 years old and I'm from Vietnam. Today is a very special day. It is the International Day of the Girl Child 2025 and I am truly honored to be here with Miss Pauline Tamesis, the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Vietnam. And thank you so much for being here today. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Thank you,
all right?
Thank you.
So, Miss Pauline, could you share with us how you started your journey from a girl in the Philippines to the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Vietnam?
Thanks very much, really very happy to sharing my story with you. My story didn't follow one path. I had the opportunity to work for the UN because I went to the US for my graduate degree. And after I took my master's in business administration, and I studied in Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. And one of the things that I did after graduation was to apply for an internship with the United Nations. It was one of the most amazing experiences that I had because I got to learn what the United Nations stood for, and I got to interact with so many different people who were from very different nationalities. But I felt that it was one of my best experiences because I figured out that I didn't want to stay in the US. I wanted to go back to my country in the Philippines and work for the government. So very different paths: business school, working for the UN, and then working for my government. That's how I found my calling in working in development. I worked for the government, and it was on rural development and making sure financial instruments are available to farmers so that they can sustain their livelihoods and be above the poverty line. And that was what I was doing in the Philippines, and then I got the call from the United Nations Development Program, and that's how I started going back to the UN. At the UNDP, I started off as the youngest officer in UNDP, and what had happened was they had already filled the position that I had applied to, but after I interviewed, they were so impressed with my interview that they created a new job. They created a new job for me, and they gave me the job of taking care of gender equality and women's empowerment and working with non-governmental organizations. So by working with civil society and by working with women's organizations, I felt that I was in a better position to be able to serve others as well.
So thank you for sharing. So I can see that experience, when you have like a lot of experience, you will get to know more about yourself and what suits you most, and from that you will be able to know like, oh, what fits me the best, what I can do best. So there are many girls, including me, who are still exploring different careers for the future. So what advice would you give to the girls who are trying to discover their passion and their future careers?
You asked a perfect question, and I think the answer to your question lies in the words that you have chosen. What would you do or advise girls in their discovery of their passion? And I think the word discovery is perfect. I think girls should discover and explore what they want to do for the energy, the purpose, the time, the resources, the talents that you have. I think there's no just one way to explore. I think you should diversify, go horizontal, just try as many experiences as you want to experience, because I think in learning and experiencing different things, you grow so much more exponentially. Can you imagine if you just go like this way, all you know is this way. But if you've explored, you've made mistakes, you've met new people, the new people will introduce you to new opportunities. I think that's a richer, very rich journey. And I think having met you now in an opportunity with other young women and girls, isn't that a fabulous opportunity to learn about different perspectives from very different people rather than just a small community that you started off with. And I think that's what I want to share. Discover what you really want to do, what makes you happy. I think if you're not happy with what you're doing, regardless of how prestigious, how visible, how glamorous it is, if you're not happy, I don't think you'll put the energy to doing what you want to do.
Yes. I think that's a very useful advice. I myself have been like, I want to like try to do a lot of things to expand my perspectives. And honestly, for today's events, I not only learned from you, but I also interacted with other girls, and I got to hear the perspectives, and I got to learn more.
Yes, yes.
So I would like to have one last question. So, in your opinion, what skills will be most important for girls who are wanting to become global leaders in the future?
I think curiosity is a characteristic, not really a skill, that everyone should really be more attuned to. If you're curious about the world, if you're curious about your surrounding, if you're curious about another person, that gives you the opportunity to learn more about others and the world around you. If you're not curious, if you feel that, oh, I know that, or it's not interesting, then you actually are keeping your blind spots. You know, blind spots is when you don't know what you don't know. And I think that's one of the things that I learned. As you explore, as you become more responsible, you take more responsibilities. When you become a leader of your own self and your own team, the best thing that you can do to keep yourself learning is to make sure that you know what you don't know. Because if you commit to learning more and more and learning every day, you actually discover so much more than you already know. I mean, maybe it's a funny thing what I'm telling you, right? But I think the curiosity, the willingness to learn every day, the willingness to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes is one of the key things that I know will serve anyone in their life, at whatever stage in life they are in. We are taught in school never to make mistakes and be always succeeding, right? I think that's not always true. We should always learn from our mistakes and not be afraid of making mistakes.
Yes, thank you very much. I will certainly remember your advices, and I hope that this video has helped many of you girls and many others who are still curious to know what careers they want to be and how they want to develop it. I hope this video helps you a lot. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you very much, Mi. Thank you. Really appreciate this opportunity. Hug?
Yes.
Thank you.